Good evening. Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I know you can see me, but let me know if you can hear me and if the quality of the audio is good. Then I'll take it from there. Just drop a short comment in the comment chat box and let me know if I'm clear enough. Do I have echo? If you want me to run some tests, 1, 2, 3. Is there any echo? Is the quality good? Is the audio clear? Leave a thumbs up. Hey Ali, hey Han. Welcome guys. Guys, I was just asking other people if the quality of the audio is clear, if the audio is good, if you can hear me, if there is no echo or reverb, just leave a thumbs up so I know we can continue. Okay, so no. Do you guys hear me? Maybe you don't because nobody's answering. Hello? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the feedback. I was getting worried. Tanvir is asking how was this journey? And I know what he means because previously he asked, thank you Abito, thank you Han. Because Tanvir asked me how was the journey, and previously he asked when did I start learning SolidWorks, and I told him back in 2007, which is 13 years ago now. And when I look back, it doesn't feel like 13 years, to be honest. I had to learn SolidWorks as a major in my university, first year. So we had this course. I didn't even know what SolidWorks is or any other CAD software for that matter. I had worked with old versions of AutoCAD 2D a little bit. It was not fun. It didn't attract me at all. And when I put my hands on the SolidWorks for the first time, I was hooked. So from that moment on, every free moment I had, every time people were going out to have a drink, to go eat, to play, chit chat, I was sitting behind a computer in the computer lab, just playing around with SolidWorks. And it was a very old SolidWorks 2007, old interface. You could have not done a lot of things you can do now, at least not as easily. And I was trying to come up with different stuff. Let me show you my screen so you can also see me better. Yep. So I remember very, very vividly one of the stuff I was really proud to be making first day I started working with SolidWorks was something like a cube, and then something precisely like this. I didn't know how to create a cube in computers before, so everything I did was quite nice for me, and I was again hooked. And I don't know, it just became my hobby. One thing led to another. I kept working. It became my strongest asset. It got me hired with a very high paying job. It landed customers for me that I didn't know. When I was in university, other students came to me and they even paid me to do their project, which was not legal, but now I can, disclose it because that time is past. Even one of the students came to me. He said he had a client outside of the university and he's willing to pay £1,000. I studied in England, and British pounds was the currency. And for me, who was living on canned beans, every night I was eating like Heinz beans or stuff like that. If I was lucky, I could afford a pizza. £1,000 were like, phew, out of this world. But it's funny. There's a lot happened, and I'm really thankful to SolidWorks. The fact that I got my European German citizenship, everything. If you just trace back everything that happened in my story, one way or another, I kind of owe it to my SolidWorks. So let's see if there are any other questions meanwhile. Dara Kuda, audio is good. Thank you very much. Carmen, nice joining us. Avito, there is 20-second delay. Okay, good. Guys, the reason we are here today, I'm not going to teach any specific thing because my teachings are on the channel or on the webinar. Today we are only here to answer any question you have. If you have especially the repetitive ones, if you come across an issue, if you come across an error that frustrates you and you don't even know how to describe it or who to ask it, this is why we are here for today. And I hope people who are joining us now can hear me loud and clear. Just describe any situation. I'm going to go over each and every one of these questions and answer your questions to the fullest. So let me know what you think. Avito, do you have any questions? I just mind my own business here and wait for you guys to... Tanvir, are you Tanvir is asking me if I'm an expert on SolidWorks. Well, I have to clarify that because expert is a term that has a meaning when it comes to SolidWorks. There are levels in SolidWorks and expert is one of the levels. So let me tell you exactly how it is. As a matter of fact, I believe I have a picture of it somewhere, but I have to look for it. So just give me a second while I describe what exactly an expert is. When it comes to SolidWorks, when you start, you're a beginner. Okay, the majority of people are beginners, newbies. They don't know how SolidWorks is and how it works. The next levels are intermediates who kind of know the software, they know the interface, and so on. And after that, we go to CSWA. CSWA stands for Certified SolidWorks Associate. Okay, this is the lowest certified rank SolidWorks offers. After that, you go to Professional. After that, you go to CSWP, which is where I am, Certified SolidWorks Professional. However, I was in this level back in 2011 and recently I got it again. It doesn't mean you're not above this, but this is my minimum, CSWP. Once you get your certification in CSWP and 3 more certificates out of the 5 available, you are qualified to take on the CSWE exam, which stands for a Certified SolidWorks Expert. So if you're referring to that expert, I don't know. I haven't taken the time and effort to take on the exam. I might pass it, I might fail it, but I have never done that because it was never required for me. It was never necessary. CSWP did do me just fine, and I basically achieved whatever I wanted to achieve, get the job, and do basically no challenges. So I never went after CSWE. I don't know if this is what you're asking. If you're asking expert on everyday use of the word expert, you could call me that. You could call me a SolidWorks expert. Yes. Kuda is asking, I can only listen as I'm at my work, so you cannot see me. That's fine. Nothing. You're not missing anything. If you have any questions, Kuda, just type it. Let me know if you're interested to learn anything. It doesn't have to be about modeling, guys. It can be about whatever. For example, Tanvir asked just 2 interesting questions. If you have questions such that, if it's about me, as much as I can, I'll try to help you out by giving you the information to give you value. So just let me know what you think, what questions you had, what are your struggles, what are your concerns. For example, who knows what Instant 3D does? I'm not gonna move my cursor on it because it shows a small description, but if you do, just raise your hand. If not, let me know. So I can give you a quick background on that. If I wanted to give you some stuff about myself, I think one time I counted it. I have worked with SolidWorks somewhere around 14,000 hours. Like always, I cannot be sure, obviously, but that's a sure thing. Minimum 14,000. And but most of these times I've been working with these two tabs. I have worked with many tabs. I mean, there you can keep adding them here, but that's not the ones that I have used a lot. I have worked with mold tools, simulations, rendering, evaluate, sheet metal, weld metal, so forth. Surfaces in the third rank, but these two do 90% of the job. Sometimes you definitely need to get help from the tools you get in the surfaces tab, but mostly these two do the trick. Some stuff I didn't know exists until recently, even after 13 years of working with the software or 13 hours of working with the software. I didn't know you could change a color's thickness, type, or color, because back in 2013-14, when I was working as a stent designer, color coding the 2D lines. First of all, everything we did had to be in 2D because 3D was completely unnecessary. We wanted to change the color, and I told them back then, as the expert, it's not possible in SolidWorks. The only thing I knew to change was to right click here, click on change color, where is it? Sketch color, and then change it. But it only changes it, look, it's not even here. You have to go to settings. When you look at it here, but not the thickness or anything. But recently I found out, sure, if I right click here and go to toolbars and activate line format, it will be added somewhere into my menu. In my case, I put it in the bottom left corner, which allows me to change the thickness, to change the type, make it dash, make it whatever color I want. And well, for those cases, it's very interesting. Why is it still blue? I don't know. I have to go down, investigate a little bit. It went back to gray. Very, very unexpected of SolidWorks. No, Tabir, as I said, I'm professional level. I got one professional level in 2011. I got another one in 2020. I didn't want to get certified again. I was doing it for my SolidWorks course. I have an online SolidWorks course, and there is a section in that course about CSWP. I teach the members how to pass the exam, and I was recording the exam, so I had to take the exam just to show them. So I passed it. I got certified again, but it doesn't count as two certificates. Okay, surfacing techniques. Tabir is asking one question. Let me see what other questions are there. YouTube algorithm notified me of your live stream, but I had no knowledge of you prior to this. So I'm happy to find a new source for learning. I'm happy you're here too. Rainy Day says we can't see what you see. Oh yeah, thank you. Guys, you have to tell me. Thank you, Rainy Days. 1 point. Because I have to keep switching the windows, and sometimes I'm a person, I'm talking, I'm doing SolidWorks, I'm checking the chat. True. Sometimes I forget. Carmen, we don't see yours. Oh, okay. Carmen said that too, and Marcus also said it too. Rainy Days, Carmen and Marcus, thank you very much for the heads up. Now you should be able to see my screen. I was talking about the line format, which is here. You can right click, go to toolbar, activate line format here. It was activated. I just deactivated it for you. And when you do that, it will be added somewhere. In my case, it's down here. And when you select your line, you can change its type. Go back to normal line. You can change its thickness. You can change its color, whatever you want. It just it doesn't change the nature of your line. It just changes it, changes the format. Now, since I haven't gotten any technical question except for the surfacing techniques, I am going to scratch the surface on the surfacing technique. Do you see what I did there? So surfacing technique is very, very similar to features. So if you compare the tools that you see here, they're pretty much the same, except the results you get from the tools in the surfaces tab come with 0 thickness. So you have extruded surface, you have extruded boss, you have revolved, swept, lofted boundary, you have swept, revolved, lofted boundary. So you have equivalent of almost everything you get on the features tab. And in a second, I'm gonna go in and use some of them. Although, due to the nature of surfaces, which come in with zero thickness, some of the tools you get on the surface tab cannot and do not come in the features tab. So you do not have that. You do not have any extrude cut. Okay, if you want to cut a surface, you're gonna have to trim it. Let me show you. First of all, I'm gonna start with a line because I cannot think of anything else right now. And once I do that, I can easily extrude this. There is no need for a thin extrusion because surfaces don't have thicknesses. Therefore, everything is thin anyway. And by thin, I mean zero thickness. So you can see the extrusion direction 1 looks pretty much like the sub menu on the extrusion in the features tab. And you can make a surface. Another way to make a surface is to use field surface. So if I draw a circle here and want to turn it into a surface, I would just use planar surface and this will become a surface, something like this. All right. Now, there are ways to convert a solid body, which is what you make when you're using the tools in the feature tab, to surface, and the other way around. There are tools on the first surface tab that allows you to convert your surface with zero thickness into a solid body with thickness, and that is called thicken, which is pretty intuitive. When you select the surface, you can define a thickness that you want to add. Let's just say 10, the direction on which side, or both. But in case of a both, it's a little bit different than the direction 1 in extrusion, because when I click on the middle button, it is thickening my surface 10 to the right and 10 to the left. So altogether, thickening it twice this value, 20. All right, don't forget this and don't make this mistake. Unlike this, if I go back and let's just reuse this sketch and go to features, make an extrusion, set it to mid plane. If I put 10, you get 5, 5. You see that? This is the actual 10. So there are minor differences between the menus in the feature tab and the surface tab, and you have to get acquainted to that by time when you work with it. You just pick it up very fast. It's not that complicated. So Deracuda says he struggled. I'm not finished with the surface, guys. I'm just reading the questions in between because this topic goes on for hours. He says he struggles with understanding how to fix errors when trying to define a sketch. Any chance you can purposely cause a basic error and then a complicated error and show how to identify and fix issues. Tanvir, I will get back to the surfaces, but this is a very good question and it's a short one, so I'm gonna do this and go back to surfaces. I hope that you're okay. Give me a thumbs up. Good. Deracuda, pay attention. This is a very, very common mistake. As a matter of fact, I have put a link and I have pinned it on top of the chat box. Guys, if you go there, I have listed 10 common mistakes every SolidWorks beginners make, and this is #1 mistake and #1 cause of frustration for beginners. So let me show you briefly, quickly, what's happening so you understand what's going on. When you draw a sketch in SolidWorks, it can have one of the 3 states. It can be an underdefined state, which what you see here, look at my mouse cursor, it says here my sketch is underdefined. It can be fully defined, where the sketch turns fully in black. You see 2 of my entities are in black, 2 of them are in blue. So these 2 are underdefined, these 2 are fully defined, but we get to that. These are also not fully defined. And there is the last stage, overdefined. This is where you struggle, Deracuda. Let's just make something that doesn't make any sense. So this value is 10. Let's just say, how can I do this? This value is also 10. Okay. And let's just assign an angle here. I'm trying to purposely cause a mistake. Let's just say 70 degrees. Right, everything is fully defined and you can see it here in black. Now, what doesn't make sense? Can we have this sketch? I assume most of you are engineers. Can we have this sketch over here, what you see, and at the same time have this entity and this entity equal to each other? No. Why? Because in that case, we should be looking at a square. Therefore, this 70 degrees cannot exist. So if I go ahead and click on equal, I just created a problem. No solution found, and this is exactly the state of an overdefined sketch where you see in this case. So how do you solve it? When you come across an issue like this, I'm gonna make another example, which is also very common. When you're going to solve this, you're gonna have to click on the red entities, and immediately you see the existing relations assigned either automatically or by you manually to that entity. So I can see this line is vertical. It has an angle assigned to it, which is the 70 and equal length. And you see these are yellow or mustardish, and this one is red. This means the red one is the issue and the two mustardy ones are caused by it. Now you might be able to solve the problem by deleting one of the mustard ones. Now you see that it's still fully defined, but you don't have that 70 anymore. It's back to being a square, as I said. Control-Z that, click on that, delete equal length, and everything is back to normal. And it's not changing to a square because I just deleted the red one. I hope it was clear for you there, Kida. Let me know. Faisal, welcome. Now, there is another issue, guys. Pay attention. It's in continuation of making errors in your sketch. A lot of times it happens when you are modeling. You draw a base sketch. I don't have time to fully define it, so I'll just do it automatically. And then you extrude it. I just need to have some edges and some points, right? And I'm gonna draw something here on top of this surface. Let's just say a rectangle. I'm gonna start from this point, okay? Emphasize on this point. And I'm gonna end on this one, right? Now we have a fully defined square. Now I'm gonna go ahead and extrude it a little bit further. Let's just say this is the component that I wanted to create. Now I continue this, I add features on top. I don't know, fillet here. Let's just say, can we just create another holder? That's also fine. Where is it? Go in, make a hole. All right. Now at this point I realize, oh, that initial cross section shouldn't have been a hexagon. It should have been a circle or pentagon, doesn't matter. So I go back, and without paying attention to all these dependent features that I built on top of my parent feature, which is the hexagon, I delete this, or you know what, better, I'm not gonna delete it. I'm just gonna round the edges. I just realized I forgot to round the edges. So casually, I round all the edges. I hope this works. All right, exactly worked. Now, what happened? I get an error and everything is suppressed in the design tree and I just don't know what happened. When this menu comes up or pops up, don't worry. Either click on don't show again and click on continue, ignore error, because only then we can see what's going on. All right. Immediately I see where the error is, because this one is yellow. Now, I don't know if it's on the feature level or on the base sketch level. So I open the combo, I see the sketch is in yellow. So I know I should go down and investigate the sketch. Feature is not the cause, it's caused by the sketch. So one click on that, click edit sketch, make it normal to your screen, and look for any mustardy entities. And you know entities are points, edges, and so on. So immediately I see this one in mustard and this one. Why? Because this point was supposed to be coincident to that edge of the hexagon, which does not exist anymore. So it is trying to connect itself to an edge or to a point that doesn't exist anymore, and therefore you get the error message. Now, your ways are, you can delete the sketch relation first of all. It does get rid of the issue for you if I rebuild it, but it will leave your drawing in the underdefined state. So if you want to fix it and don't mess anything up, try other ways to fully define your sketch. In this case, I'm going to go with dimensions. I'm not going to change any dimension, but let's just say assign some dimensions to it. And until it's fully defined, there is the height missing, and boom. Now it's fully defined and I can rebuild it and the error message should be gone. It's still not gone. Interesting. So let me go back. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? This one? No, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it does not make any sense. So in this case, what would I do? Because this is the first time it's happening to me. It's not the first time. In this example, it's the first time. So I'm not prepared. Let's see what I do, because this is my real reaction. If I face a situation like this, I try to, let's just do something else. I'll draw another one. This one should be this much, right? And this is how much? 51, 57. 51, 57. Get rid of this completely. That's what I'm gonna do. Place this one midpoint on the center. This should do the trick. Coincident and rebuild. There is still another error. Oh, good. At least now I push the error to the next level, and this time this one is missing. We didn't fully define it. So let's get off this 1, 2. Use this. Extrude cut. Done. I see where it's going. Through all both. Done. Still. That's something, man. All right. Whoa, that goes into the pro level. I think I know what's going on. Yep. All right. So guys, before I show you how to fix this, let's just do a recap quickly, because it has taken longer than usual. Sometimes it happens for me too. What did I do? I started drawing a hexagon and I built a cube on top of that, and I placed the corners of the cube on the corners of the hexagon. I went back, rounded the edges of the hexagon so the points were eliminated, and that cube was floating in the air. So that I caused my first error. How did I solve it? I removed the existing relation to it, and for some reason it was still causing the problem for the same sketch. I didn't understand why, so immediately on default I just replaced it with a new rectangle, and the problem was solved. Now the problem was solved on that level, and I pushed the problem down to the design tree to the last feature, which is this one, and it became yellow. And as I told you, when you see a yellow one, you open it. If the sketch is the issue, then you're not looking at the feature level, which is the top layer, you're looking at the lower layer. I started investigating the lower level, which is the sketch, and still the problem was not solved. I even replaced it, still not solved. So I have to dig a little bit deeper, which I completely ignored reading the messages, because I don't do that anymore. Well, sometimes you should. And it turned out the sketch, which is the second layer, is not the issue. The plane that I used to, or the surface that I used to draw the sketch on, was missing, because I replaced that rectangle with a new one. So the sketch, or the surface has a new name. It doesn't recognize it. How to fix it? Right click on the sketch, click on edit sketch plane. You see the mustardy error here, missing face. Delete it, select the new one, click OK, and done. All the errors are solved. So you're gonna have to push the errors all the way down until they're solved. All right, that was in regard to Dracuda's question. Marcus has a question. He says, when you need a surface, so we're back to surfaces again, there is an option that says merge entities. What is that option for? Okay, that's a very interesting one, and that's a general one. Hold it on pause until I read all the questions, because some of the questions are relevant and I can answer them at once. Dracuda. All right, done, no problem. Adarsh is asking about CSWA. MS, is it possible to make a loft with 90 degrees between each sketch? Yes, it's possible. Aryan has the same name as me. Hi, would you please suggest some ways practice to learn SolidWorks in a very efficient way? Yes, I can. Just stick around. I have prepared something special for that, as a matter of fact. So Rahmat, also tutorial molding. Okay, will do. Back to Marcus's question, which he was asking about neat, and neat is over here, guys, neat surface, and he's asking merge entities. What does this thing do? When you merge two surfaces or more together, you could either create, let's just do that. It's easier than explaining it. So let's just create one here. I'll make a surface and another one next to it, like this. Planar surface, done, neat. Now, if I want to neat these two and merge entities, look what happens. This line is completely out. This is what an entity is. If I go back and check it, you see that line is there. So you did neat them together, they are connected, but I left this line entity, which is the common edge or border they have together, there. Why? It could be for multiple purposes, because maybe I want to treat this plane separately. Maybe I want to bend it while this one stays flat, so I leave it on. If we want to handle them together, you just merge the entities and you get rid of the border and everything is fine. I hope that was very down to detail, Marcus. Let me know if you have more questions about that. Adrash is okay. CSWA. Guys, if you guys give me a second, I might be able to find something to show you interesting, because I have a graph which is very interesting about CSWA, where CSWA is, yeah, found it. So this is where CSWA is. According to a study done in 2018-2019, about only 7% of all SolidWorks users are CSWA certified. Again, as I said in the beginning of this webinar, CSWA stands for Certified SolidWorks Associate, the lowest certification SolidWorks offers. So in order to pass this, and in order to get certified, you need to take on an online exam which costs around $100. You need to have SolidWorks installed on your computer, and you need to take on this exam, which is 3 hours long and has different sections. So these sections are, some of them are part modeling, some of them are part modification. There are usually around the first 2 or 3 questions are about drawing and different type of views, if this is a broken out section or if this is a crop out section, for example. So technical knowledge of the names of the features in SolidWorks. They carry the least amount of weight, usually about 5 points per question. After that, you go to part modeling, where the questions carry more weight, around 20 points a question, and you finish by, you finish with assembly questions, where the questions are about 30 points a question. You usually don't have to create the assembly yourself. You will be given the parts. Actually, when you take on the exam, I had to say that in the beginning, you have to download and install a software where the program and the exam runs on it. And in that software, you are given the parts to download, usually as the zip file. When you get them and unzip them, you're gonna have to open them in SolidWorks. They're named and they're usually color coded, and they show you exactly which component to open and how to assemble them together. Now, if you do that correctly or not, that's a different thing, but they show that. So when you do that, usually they ask you to bring the assembly into a certain position at an angle or a distance and measure either the mass, not the mass, measure the center of gravity, or something. Let me just check that. Which one did I forgot the name? So also we don't have a mass here. In this one we do. They ask you to center of mass. Yeah. So they ask you to measure the center of mass, X, Y, and Z, and you get four options to answer your question. Now, the challenging thing about CSWA is when you get question 1, you have to create a part, and you need to spend most of your time on that part. Why? Because the two following questions, question 2 and 3, you don't need to create something from scratch. You just have to take whatever you created and modify it 2 more times and answer that. So if you built your model the first time wrong, you're gonna answer the next couple of questions that are dependent on that top model absolutely wrong. So don't worry that your 3 hours is not divided equally throughout the questions, because for each group of questions, you need to spend 90% of your time or 70% of your time on the main first question and 30% on just adjusting it, okay? Now that's CSWA, and that increases your chance of getting a job really high, because that's the easiest and fastest way to show an employer how much you know SolidWorks. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to say, hey, I'm really good at it, trust me, believe me. So certificates do the job for you. They even issue a barcode for you where you can put it on your CV, and whenever they scan it, they go to an official directory of SolidWorks where your name appears there as an associate or as a professional certified. All right, not too much in detail because we're getting more questions. Where was I? Dracuda answered. CSWA address, that was for you. MS, is it possible to make a 90 degrees? Yes, it's very much possible. However, make sure they are not having an entity in common. So if there is a rectangle here and rectangle here, sometimes you cannot do the loft because they share that entity. Make sure to leave a little bit of gap between them, then that's possible. Aryan is saying, hi, would you please suggest ways to practice to learn SolidWorks in a very efficient way? Yes. Why don't you go to top of the chat box, click on that link, and everything else will be sorted out for you. I show you exactly. I have a directory of about 120 tutorials, which we add every week, a new one, step-by-step tutorials. And I have PDF tutorials. I have courses where I recommend. Otherwise, if you're not up for paying, if you want to save some bucks, I understand. You could go to SolidWorks. There are some built-in tutorials where you can follow in the tutorial section. This is my website. You have 4 categories: weldments, sheet metal, techniques, and product design. I just go here, for example. While it opens, I read the next question. Tutorial molding. Rahmat, I've done molding. I don't consider myself an expert in molding. Therefore, I'm not gonna, unfortunately, I cannot get into details on molding. So this is, for example, the product design that I have. You just pick a product. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder. This one, for example, comes in 2 parts. It's rather easy. The high heels is one of the very difficult ones because it's mostly surface modeling. Key is easy, table is interesting. I'll just say more difficult than easy. Inner thread, outer thread, there are different type of tutorials. You can come here and practice. However, the best way would be to go to the webinar. Just on that page, click on the webinar or the link on the chat box. Come here, register. It's free. Just watch the webinar. It's about 42 minutes. Free stuff, free tips, and at the end you see what kind of practices you need to do. Carrie, hi. Can I get shout out? She's okay. Sure, Carrie. If you she says she's a big fan. You guys can see and read her email. You can contact me directly at info@solidworkstutorials.net and we can talk there. Marcus, you're welcome. Ah, Lucifer, hi. I remember you, man. Long time no see. Melvin. Okay, guys. No, Melvin recently joined the members. Hi, Melvin. This is a normal YouTube. This is a random question and answer session. The one for the members and the one for the Facebook group will be announced later. That will be more exclusive with an agenda. This is for the YouTube channel. And since I don't have a content ready for this week, I'm just answering any question I can put my hands on and gather some information. Mustaf is asking, I have circular sketch pattern problems. Okay, what is the problem? Can you be more specific? Mason says, can you make a 2D shape and sweep it around the x-axis? Yeah, you can. So you can sweep it around. You mean revolve it around the x-axis? You don't sweep around something. You sweep it along a path or along an axis. And if you want to do it, did you say along or around? Around. You're talking about revolve. Mason Savaria, please write your question again. Are you talking about sweeping or revolving? Garrett says, how do you use gear mates? Garrett is really easy, but I wish I had some gears ready. Let me see if I have worked with any gears in the last couple of weeks. Now I'm gonna just take this bike wheel and assume it's a wheel. Go to the assembly. We're gonna have to put it there. Now I need a shaft, so let's just to make it stable. New part, done. Edit. Give me plane. This one is fine. Quickly. If there are any questions, I think Ali, if there are any questions that I'm missing and you can answer, please do that, because sometimes it takes long to answer one question and in the same time a lot of more questions will be added. I cannot select that. Thank you. Done. All right, so this is fixed, right? This one should be floating. Nice and easy. Now let's just make this on top of this. Done. Now I need two of them. Assume these are gears, okay? This one and this one, same level. This is very, very, very messy. This should not be the way you should be working, but in this case, it doesn't matter. And this one, same level, which doesn't make any sense. Let's put it back and fix this. Now, all right, one more mating we have to do in order to answer that. This one and this one, same level. Guys, move. Now, all right. Now I want to assume these two are gears. So you go to mate, you go to mechanical mates, you open gear, and you select the right pitch diameter of a gear. If you design your gear correctly, if you go to geargenerator.com, for example, and select the ones that are they come with the right pitch diameter, you can define it here. The ratio, since these are equal, this is a 1-to-1, doesn't matter. You can select the reverse. If you want to rotate in reverse, you do that. And when you rotate one, the other one rotates like a gear. So that was for Garrett. Maria is asking, what is the difference between fold, bend, and flange for sheet metal? Oh, Maria Russo. I had a colleague called Maria Russo. I cannot tell you that, because I'm not that good in sheet metal, but I can try and give you my best shot. So fold, bend, and flange. Maria, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pass. This is not my area of expertise. You're talking about fold, flange was somewhere here. If you email your question to info@solidworkstutorials.net, we have Hubert in our team who is an expert on sheet metal and weldments. He takes care of these two type of questions. If you leave me an email, info@solidworkstutorials.net, I will make sure he will get back to you. Sorry that I cannot answer right now. Dracula, I will get back to your question because I did one for you. Let me see what other questions are there. If there are no questions, I will answer your next one. Jan is asking, can you do 137 protective case? What's a 137 protective case? I don't know. Is that a phone? Rahmat is asking tutorial assembly. Sure, that's a big one. Please make it a small one so I can. Assembly is a huge topic. You cannot do it in a 60-minute, let alone it's almost done. Make it a quick one. I will do one for you, Rahmat, right now. Mustafa is asking, I cannot draw many patterns regarding the circular pattern he said before on the circle or rectangle. I cannot draw many patterns. Well, let's just show you how it works. It's not that difficult when you're drawing on a surface. Let's just say I'm gonna make a circular pattern of this sketch. So I select it, go here, pick circular pattern. First of all, automatically it picked the right point I wanted to pick. If it didn't, you select the point where you wanna rotate your sketches around. So pick it, and you change the number of entities you want to create, and you do it. I mean, this is all it is. I deleted that point, that's why it didn't work. Let's just do it again quickly, otherwise I haven't proven my point. And let's pick this one. It picked. Now select the circle 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17 times and click OK. That's it. That's all you have to do for a circular sketch pattern. Naresh, how can I make a concave shape on a rod surface? Concave shape on a rod surface. So is it on the end surfaces of the rod, or is it on the circular surface of the rod? So if you're talking about a rod, you have a rod, right? What kind of concave? You're welcome, Mustafa. Naresh, let me read the other questions. Let me know if you want me to show how to make a concave here or here. Because if it's here, then I'm gonna have to ask you how. What kind of concave? Because there are other ways to do it. If it's here, it's rather easy. KM6HVU says, involute gear help. Involute, I'm gonna have to Google that word. I'm sorry. If I help you, you're welcome. If not, please let me know what involute means. Lucifer asking, is there any website to get parts to practice assembly? My website. I have the perfect assembly for perfect tutorial for assembly. So if I go back, let's just do this, guys. Go to youtube.com, okay? Like I had to say .com, and type for SolidWorks assembly, okay? You come across this video, the top one, that's mine with 64K. When you click on this video, there is a link here to download this part. So you can just click on this. You will be going to my website. However, you need to sign up. Again, it's free. You just have to give your email. Then you get access here, and you can download all the parts over here. That was the easiest question I could answer. Naresh says end. Okay, so Naresh, you want to create a concave. Concave. What was that? You want to make a concave here. If you wanted to make it outwards, there is a perfect feature for that. It's called dome, not doom, dome, and you can use it like this and increase the value to make it like that. So this is outwards. Now if you want to go inwards, I'm not sure if there is any reverse one for it, but the way I would do it is like this. So this is my end surface, I'm gonna have to work with a, let's just say a circle, depending on how much you want to do the concaving for. Let's just say like this, or I can even connect it to this point. Merge it too. Now this is what I would do. So far I did nothing fancy. It's only a half circle where I'm gonna go and use the revolved cut for, and when I do that like this, I have just created a concave surface on the end of the rod. Is this what you meant? Lucifer, you're welcome. Rahmat, file, AutoCAD to SolidWorks. So if you want to insert a file, you can just change it here. I believe AutoCAD has integrated, like here, look, you have Adobe AutoCAD file, DXF and DWG, 2Ds, okay? And you have other programs like CATIA, you have programs like Autodesk Inventor, even Photoshop or Illustrator from Adobe products, and many more, maybe Rhino, Creo, Solid Edge. You can just go here, change the format to whatever you want, and insert those parts, Rahmat. That's very easy. Naresh, you're welcome. And guys, I think it's exactly 59 minutes. Let me just quickly see if I missed any question. If not, we can wrap this video up by showing you my live webinar. Let's just go here. Guys, this is the webinar I was talking about. A lot of you asked about tutorials and stuff to practice. So come here. The link is under this video. It should be. You click on that. You come here. It's free. Just a name and an email, and then start watching immediately. It's about 42 minutes of value, and I'm sure you can learn a lot of good tips. And a lot of the problems you asked, like the first one about this what was it? The sketch error is covered in this video in detail. So you can know how to fix it, how to delete it, how to edit it, how to temporarily deactivate it, how to permanently deactivate it. Everything you need to know about it is here. So just put down 42 minutes, only focus on learning and learn something new and make it count. So let's just go up. I believe I answered every question. Guys, by the way, who is interested in a course? Because we have a course. You could also join us there. All right, there are, quickly, how can I please? You cannot convert a steel file to a solid for that easy if you want to do a change detail. But I'm wrapping this video up. If you send me an email to info@solidworkstutorials.net, I give you some details, but it's not that easy. And then it says I'm having problem in putting another layer, encapsulating a solid model. How can I assign it as a new solid body, add different material? Since this is a very quick one, when you have a solid body and you want to put it inside another one without them being merged into one, you just do whatever you want, uncheck merge result, and then they will be treated as two separate bodies. You can see it over here. You have two solid bodies here. If I make this one see-through, you can see the other one inside. You can right click here, assign a material to this one, and assign a different material to this one. That was for Anand. Tanmay, you're welcome. Lucifer, basic motion and animation. I don't know exactly what you mean, basic motion animation. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. Rahmat, bill of materials tutorial. I also have to get back to you on this. I would be interested in a course. Dracula, link in this description. Just put 42 minutes. It will worth your while. Trust me. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to wrap this video up because unfortunately I don't have time. I set aside 1 hour for this session, which we just reached, a little bit more actually. And I will try to get back with more sessions. Let me know if you appreciate these Q&A sessions, then I will do more, maybe once a week or once in every 2 weeks. And for my members, I will get back to you in the forum, in the private Facebook group, where you can ask your questions. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon. Take care.